Hi everyone, Darko here, and welcome to today's session where I will be talking about this trade that we took. And let's hear what I had to say about this trade before we got filled, and I will talk you through it. Euro Kiwi. I'm not sure if I talked about this trade in my previous PMA. It didn't look like this on a daily chart. So now it's so let's do this. My yearly bias is 100% short. Okay, price is at some point will be hitting this level. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm visualizing in my head. So how can I involve myself in a shorting opportunity to hit this level? Because lots of pips is there, and this level happens to be a very significant, or at least a good level of support on a monthly chart. Okay. There are some levels on a weekly chart that is before that level that is strong enough to not be disregarded. Unless we hit any of these levels, what I do want to see is price to come up. Okay, I would say if I ask 100 traders, or 100 will say this is a significant level and neckline. Happens to be a double neckline on a swing neckline on a weekly chart. Looks even very, very good. So what I do see on my daily chart is something I've been seeing for a very, very long time. Is price is breaching that level deep enough to use as my natural stop, and then price convincingly reestablish within my bias. I have an entry in this specific case that stands out to me like a shining star. That means I don't need to use fib, because that's the second option, right? First option is always support and resistance that stands out. I don't need to look for it. They look for me. Okay. So when I have that, I use that. If there's no logic level to enter, I use the 618 fib. Okay. In this specific case, this will be the entry with a high stop loss aiming to the downside. Okay. And then once we got filled, well, this could happen for a full loss, or maybe you risk reduce and then you get stopped out, or maybe price goes in your direction, you take something off. Whenever we get filled, I always cover the trade management around that specific trade once we get filled. So once we get filled, I will let you know how I will be doing things like I do with every other trades that we are taking. Okay. There you go. So I talked about this trade in advance as usual, and I also talked, why am I interested to take this trade, starting with my highest time frame down to my entry time frame. Okay, in this specific case, it was I had my daily chart as my entry time frame, and this was the entry. Go back and re-listen if you so wish, with a high stop loss. So this trade needed around 235 pips. I know the long-term trading needs wider stop loss, and that's just the nature of the game. So we got filled in here, and by the time we were around these levels, it was the last day of the month, and it was also last day of the week. We were up almost 1-to-1, slightly under that. Let me just make sure that I don't give you any misleading information. So down in here, yeah, so it was slightly 1-to-1. So there are always the trade management part of it. Once we get filled, I always give my clients different options. There is no one size fits all. You need to do something that resonates with your game plan, with the way you are as a person. So the trade management part, like I said, there are several options, and either way, this trade made 2-to-1 so far. Okay, so with having this 235-ish pips, and price went down to over 500 pips, that's 2-to-1. Why did we stop in here? Well, if you look left, there is a monthly fresh level, a very significant neckline. Okay, if you go to the weekly chart, you need slightly to adjust that level slightly higher into these necklines in here. Okay, that's the reason why price is reacting from that level. We could very well be heading down into this level as well, which is, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's slightly above the yearly level. This yearly level is also this monthly significant level. and it's also a weekly significant level. So let's see if price is finishing the job, or it depends how you manage it. You might be out of this trade, which is completely okay, or you might have a tiny profit left to hit the ultimate target. Either way, this is a big winning trade. That's it. And in today's PMA that I provided for my paying clients, I talked about something, and I will give you the light version. Okay, let me ask you this: what is preventing you from making it in trading? Because I've been showing you these videos for the past 4 years. In my humble opinion, I'm trading the best trading system in the world. Why is that the best trading system in the world? Because I scripted, I made my trading approach from scratch on my own. So I'm trading my own system, and I believe in it. I understand it. It resonates with me as a person, and I'm also understanding the institutional thinking behind it. Once you understand something, it's much easier to do it and have faith in it. Okay? The advanced market flow, that means the language of the market has never been changed since November 2017. And yes, for the first year or so, I was jumping back and forth with some trading patterns and such. After a while, I found my own niche, and I've been doing that for the past years. Okay, so the reason why most people are struggling is because they are all over the place. They are just being too wide, too subjective about their game plan, and they are like just all over the place. Okay, and you do one thing today, next thing tomorrow, and you short-term trade, you long-term trade, you trade different patterns. You are sitting at your computer for many hours, and you don't even know what you are waiting for. You are just reactive to the market, and you don't have a rock-solid game plan. And all these steps takes months. I would say weeks, months. In my case, years. It took me a decade to actually find my own niche, narrowing things down to, and then just focus on just this part, like I'm doing nowadays. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, this is the reason why you're losing by the end of each month. Like if you go and watch your trading account for the past 6 months, you will probably 95% of those who are listening to this video is having a losing month. It doesn't need to be losing month every single month. Once in a while you got lucky, right? And there's nothing wrong with losing months. So even if you are a professional trader, having 1, 2, 3, 4 losing months a year is completely normal. The only question you need to ask yourself, how much do you lose when you lose, and how much do you make when you make? Okay? By being all over the place, you think, I know exactly why you are doing it, because you think the more things you do, the more money you make. And that's on the contrary for trading. Less is more. The less you do in trading, the more money you make. Okay? So by narrowing things down is what you need to do as a struggling trader. Once you reach stage 4 of trading, then we have been giving you the wings to fly away and do things on your own. Be an independent trader. Then you can do whatever you want, because you have reached the ultimate goal to become a professional trader. Then after that, it's up to you. Despite I've been doing this for the past 15 years as a professional trader for the past 6 years, I'm still not combining different time frames. I either long-term trade or short-term trade, unless I stumble into something that I just stumbled into a very juicy trade. Okay, I'm not looking for those. Those are looking for me. So I'm focusing on one thing. Right now is long-term trading, and I'm narrowing things down and showing you different options. Okay, because there are clients that is doing only monthly ACATs or maybe weekly ACATs or intra-week trading. Okay, so let me give you an example of how you can narrow things down very specifically. Okay, so as you all know, we are trading a 4-window time frame. Okay, that means the upper left in here is only for my bigger picture. I don't care if you're micro scalping, day trading, swing trading, position trading, There are different time frame combinations that I teach. So for long-term trading, this is my yearly chart. I'm only looking this for my bigger picture. That's all I do. I'm not trading these levels, only for the bigger picture. You need to have a bias, and you don't need to be right on your bias. You just need to be right maybe 5 times out of 10 to make money. Okay, so once I have my yearly bias, now this is my monthly and weekly. Okay, and this is my daily and 4 hour. That means this is my entry time frame. Okay, so to be as specific as possible, and this is just an example of being 100% objective. Here's the example. Okay, I'm only trading in alignment with the yearly bias, and then I wait for the monthly and weekly to retrace back into a level of support and resistance, depending what my bias is, long-term bias is, the bigger picture on the yearly chart. I time those on my daily and 4 hour, and I only take weekly ACATs where I have a structured damage on my 4 hour charts within that weekly ACAT at support and resistance. And because I'm only trading in alignment with the underlying trend, I only use hands-off trade management. Everything that I just said, there is lots of content within the paid membership explaining things in great detail. Okay, and let me show you a live example of what I mean by that. Okay, let's go to USD CAD. Okay, yearly bias is up. Okay, price is retracing back monthly and weekly back into this weekly level of support. Now I need to wait for this weekly candle to close 100% bullish. If the weekly candle closes 100% bullish in alignment with the underlying trend, okay, then it's a weekly ACAT. Within that weekly ACAT, I want to see structure damage. Structure damage has a huge institutional thinking behind it. You are trading with the big dogs. Okay, so this is something that you need to understand, otherwise you will be forever struggling. Okay, you can call this divergence, you can call this head and shoulders, you could add, you know, RSI, MACD, all the fancy stuff. You can call this whatever you want. You can call this swing break rotation, you can call this, you know, the name of it is not relevant. The relevant is, what is price showing me? What does it mean when price is making a lower low and then we make a higher high, or maybe a higher high, higher close? What does it mean when this leg taking out the previous legs swing high? Okay, why is that important? What is the institutional thinking behind it? Okay, once you understand that, once you know what you are doing, and you have a deeper, profound understanding for your trading approach, then the magic happens. From being all over the place to having a very specific game plan, okay? A very specific game. And if this gives you a full loss, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less, okay? Because I know if I'm doing this 10 times, well, at least 7 of these, 6 to 7 of these will be, you know, in my favor. It all boils down to trade management. Okay, this was only a sample, an example of how to make things 100% objective, or at least as close as to 100% as humanly possible. Because once you have this specific approach, then you can do this on as many pairs as you can without getting overwhelmed. If it's 5 pairs, good, so be it. If it's 10 pairs, good. If it's 20 pairs, sure. Because once you get familiar with exactly what to wait for and training your eyes, it will take you 30 seconds to see if you have a valid trade or not. Now you know all of a sudden exactly what to wait for. Okay, and this is something that I'm teaching on weekly basis within my paid membership, training struggling clients to become professional traders. The only question you need to ask yourself is, what is preventing you from actually get to where you want to be? Because I've been showing you this stuff for the past 4 years. I'm heading into my 5th years of coaching, live coaching, where I'm actually reading the market live. I'm recording the pre-market analysis nowadays on weekly basis, Mondays and Thursdays, where I show you candle by candle, day, week by week, how to read the live market, and then also how to benefit from the market. And once we get filled in a trade, I show you exactly several options how to trade manage these trades. Okay? I wish I had access to something like this 15 years ago. It would have saved me a decade of headache and, blowing several accounts and just being all over the place. Hope this makes sense. Please make sure that you hit the like button to encourage me to do more of these for you. And, if it's in the cards for you, send me or Vic an email to help you join our service. We will be more than happy. We would be honored to help you with your journey to become a professional trader. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you a fantastic trading week. Cheers.